Tony West, you're finance co-chair and head of leadership circle for the Obama campaign. I want to ask you, I've asked a number of people at the convention about the matter of delegates being convinced to switch, say, from Clinton to Obama. I've gotten a variety of answers, but what's your take on it? What's the campaign's take on the delegates' responsibility, if you will?
Well, I mean, you've got a number of pledged delegates, first of all, which we hope will remain pledged. Senator Clinton's quite a whole bunch of pledged delegates. Barack Obama has his pledged delegates, and so we expect those delegates to do what they have promised to do, which is vote for either Senator Obama or Senator Clinton on the first ballot. Now, there are also these superdelegates who, in our system, have the ability to choose, and we agree with Congresswoman Pelosi, with Speaker Pelosi, that we think that the superdelegates ought to follow the will of the people, and that would be following whichever candidate has the most pledged delegates.
Now, on the matter of Reverend Wright, my personal impression, I can say this as a columnist, I think that the media has made too much of it. I want to know what your thought of it.
Well, I think...
And everyone knows where I stand anyway.
Yeah, no, I think the Reverend Wright issue did two things. One, I think there were some legitimate questions that people had about it after having seen those snippets. Now, bear in mind that we're talking about, maybe 30 seconds of snippets from someone who has given sermons for, 3 times every Sunday for 30 years. And so, I don't think it would be fair to say that was a representative sample of what Reverend Wright preaches and what he believes. But having said that, there were some questions that were raised, understandable. Barack is running for president, so there's going to be that type of scrutiny. But I think the second point is what's more interesting to me, which is how does one handle that type of scrutiny? How does one handle that type of pressure? Because it's in those moments of crisis that we really see the quality of leadership come through. And Barack could have easily hoped that this thing would sort of be swept under the rug, that this thing would blow over, but that's not what he chose to do. Instead, he chose to step out of the stream of partisan politics and challenge the nation and have a conversation about race. An amazingly courageous thing that he did. It's one thing that I think we will remember long after this campaign is over, that moment when Barack Obama talked honestly and openly and authentically about race in this country.
Do you have a feeling, I'll say this, I have a feeling in a sense that there's been almost a backlash because Wright has been mentioned so much where people are starting to say, well, wait a minute, you're picking on the campaign and Barack and everything and it's not him. Do you have that sense at all that maybe people are starting to say, hey, enough's enough?
Well, I think there are always going to be people who, from whatever quarters, they like to see a good controversy, they like to see a good fight, I think that there's always going to be that element there. It is a political campaign, it's a contact sport, so I'm not too surprised by that. But I think, again, one of the things that we really have to continue to keep our eye on the ball with regard to this whole campaign is, are we talking about those issues that matter to the American people? Are we talking about an economic stimulus program that brings real tax relief to working families? Are we talking about ways in which families may not face foreclosure and lose their homes? Are we talking about bringing our troops home and ending the war in Iraq? Are we talking about a universal health care plan that affects all Americans and covers all Americans? So, I think on the issues that really matter to the American people, we have to make sure we're talking and engaging the American people on those issues. These other things will come and go. It's a political contest, so I don't know if we can be too preoccupied by them.
Tony, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it.
It's good to be with you.